Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes.
March 11th, 1987, in Crystal City, Missouri. Diana Braungardt was 18 years old, a high school senior working a late shift, thinking about homework and the future ahead of her. That night, she clocked out of work, told coworkers she was heading home to study, and walked towards her car. Diana never made it home. She has never been seen again. This is Missing Veil Files. Case File, Episode 1.
This series is researched and narrated by Bria, Zach, and Lindsay, host of the Veil of Echoes podcast.
Missing Veil Files exists to keep names spoken when the world grows quiet, to honor the missing, and to stand with the families still searching for answers. If there is a case you believe deserves to be told, you can reach us through the Veil of Echoes podcast on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Before we look outward, we chose to begin with a case that hits close to home, the town we live in, and a name that still lingers here. This case file concerns the disappearance of Diana Braungardt. Before she became a name in a case file, Diana Braungardt was a daughter, sister, and a teenager building a life. She was adopted as a baby by Marvin and Jane Braungardt. Marvin was a minister, a man known in the community for his faith and sense of responsibility. Diana grew up in a structured, caring household alongside her brother.
At 18 years old, Diana was a senior in high school. She lived at home, followed a routine, and balanced school with a part-time job. The kind of life that felt steady and predictable. She wasn't known to be impulsive or rebellious. People close to her described her as dependable, someone who did what she said she would do.
Diana had brown hair and hazel eyes. She had 3 small scars on her forehead and 1 scar at the right corner of her mouth. Details like these mattered to her family. They were the kinds of things you never stopped looking for, even years later. Diana worked evenings at the Venture department store. She took her job seriously and was known for being reliable. Her days followed a pattern: school, work, home. That consistency mattered.
There was nothing in Diana's life that suggested she wanted to disappear. No history of running away, no known conflicts, and no signs that she was preparing to leave her life behind, which is why what happened next made no sense. On the night of March 11th, 1987, Diana followed her routine until it abruptly ended.
That evening, Diana was working a late shift at the Venture store. She clocked out around 10 p.m. Before leaving, she told coworkers she was heading home to study, something completely within line of her usual plans. Nothing about the demeanor suggested concern or distress.
Earlier that night, a man had stood in Diana's checkout line. Witnesses later recalled him because he appeared to linger. Investigators would later believe he may have been the last person to interact with Diana inside the store.
Based on those witnesses' accounts, police released a composite sketch. The man was described as white, approximately 5'10", with a medium build, dark hair, and no facial hair. One detail stood out. He was reportedly wearing a gold chain necklace. The sketch was shared publicly in hopes that someone would recognize him.
Diana was expected home shortly after leaving work. When she didn't arrive, her family became alarmed. This wasn't like her.
Later that night, Diana's car was located in the shopping center parking lot. It was her yellow 1982 Ford Escort. The vehicle showed no obvious signs of struggle. Diana was gone.
Somewhere between finishing her shift and reaching her car, Diana vanished. That brief stretch of time, only minutes, has never been accounted for.
In the days, months, and years that followed, investigators searched for answers and revisited leads as they emerged.
Years after Diana's disappearance, investigators revisited the composite sketch. In 2007, detectives interviewed a man who closely resembled the individual depicted. That man was Marvin Chaney. At that time, Chaney was already incarcerated for violent crimes unrelated to the disappearance of Diana Braungardt.
Chaney's criminal history included the abduction and murder of Trudy Darby. Because of that history and his resemblance in the composite sketch, investigators examined whether he could be connected to Diana's case. However, no physical evidence ever linked him to Diana. No eyewitnesses was able to place him with her beyond what had already been reported, and no charges were filed against him in connection with her disappearance.
The interview did not bring the answers investigators were searching for. Chaney died in 2017, taking with him any information he may or may not have had, and Diana's case remained unsolved.
More than 30 years have passed since Diana Braungardt disappeared. Time has moved forward, but answers have not.
Diana was adopted and raised by her parents, Marvin and Jane Braungardt. They searched for her. They waited for her. And they both passed away without ever knowing what happened to their daughter.
There is a story people in the community still share, that every night her parents left the porch light on, not because they believed answers were coming, but because hope doesn't disappear all at once. It stays quiet, persistent, a light left on just in case.
Today, that waiting has been passed on. Diana's brother continues to live with the weight of her absence, still searching, still holding space, and still asking the question no one has been able to answer.
There is no confirmed account of what happened after Diana left work that night. No recovery, no resolution. Just a young woman who never made it home, in a case that remains open.
I just hate these cases because they're not solved.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's sad.
And what sucks about hers is, like, there's no physical evidence.
There's
linked.
nothing.
So that's the thing. Because I know that one guy that they suspected, I mean...
He did.
He's gone.
He did.
But they never, like, I think they were... What I read, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
he
been
was
almost 10
always
years
a
now.
person of interest. Like, he's still a person of interest, is what I read. But...
Well, can't charge a dead man.
No.
Fuck.
No. I know. Yeah. Apparently him and his half-brother killed that one woman.
That Darby?
She worked at a convenience store. I don't remember where at. But then there's 3 others that he's tied to possibly having.
Good God.
Yeah. Yeah, it says he's not been ruled out. 2007 police interviewed a person of interest in this case. He matched a description of the unidentified man and currently is in prison for an unrelated crime. This was before he passed away. He has not been ruled out.
Seems pretty close.
He was one of Trudy Darby's killers. On her page, she was 42. This happened in Max Creek, Missouri. At 10 p.m. This happened in 1991.
So a few years later.
She called her son from work telling him about 2 suspicious men outside. When he arrived 10 minutes later, she was gone. However, her car, coat, and purse were left behind. The cash register was open with $200 missing. Police and her family feared that she had been kidnapped. 2 days later, blood and hair belonging to Trudy was found on a gravel road near the Little Nyangwa River. Shell casings were found nearby. Later that day, her body was discovered along the banks of the river. She had been raped and shot twice in the head.
Oh, that's straight up execution.
Mm-hmm.
Max Creek is 3 hours and 9 minutes from here in Russell Township, Missouri.
Jeez.
Never heard of either one of those things.
I've heard of Russell Township.
Is that north?
Huh.
I didn't really see that on the map. It was the Google map. It didn't really...
Honestly, I'm not sure if it is.
Because I've never really been north. I've been south some, but...
Jeez.
I mean, shit, the only north we've been is Kansas City.
These guys are nuts.
Oh, no, it's down
Assholes.
south. Off 54 past Lake of the Ozarks State Park.
Huh. Yeah, it says that they're also... Authorities believe that it might be connected to the disappearance of 2 other Missouri women, Angela Hammond and Cheryl Kenny. And police believe that Cheney was also involved in one of the cases that's been suspected of is that of Diana Braungardt. However, he died in prison in 2017 and was never charged for any of the other cases.
He seems to be the only suspect with a name.
Police believe that he and Rush were responsible for Angela and Cheryl's disappearances. In his letters to another inmate, Rush mentioned dumping the bodies of 2 other women in remote locations. However, those have never been found.
Yeah, because that's not...
That's what,
Weird
I don't
at all.
know. I mean, but unfortunately, without any evidence, you can't.
Yeah, you don't have any physical proof to lock anybody in.
No. If you have any information about the disappearance of Diana Jane Braungardt, law enforcement is still listening. You can contact the Crystal City Police Department at 636-937-4601 and reference agency case number 210F80. Tips can be submitted anonymously, and even the smallest detail could matter.
Diana Braungardt was 18 years old. She left work expecting to go home, and somewhere along the way, she vanished. As long as her name is spoken, as long as questions remain, this case stays open.
Thank you for taking the time to listen, and for holding space for stories like Diana's. Missing Veil Files will return every other Saturday, taking the time these cases deserve. If you know of a missing person whose story should be told, you can reach us through the Veil of Echoes podcast on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Until then, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.